If you want to streamline your recruiting process with fewer employees and faster results, this video is for you. I'm going to show you an overview first, and then I'm going to show the exact process of how we do this. So you can see here, the first goal is to find the candidates. I'll show you exactly how we do that in a minute. Then we want to filter for best candidates. If we cannot do that, we don't find the candidates, the workflow ends for that specific candidate. If we do, then we want to say, okay, well, how many years of experience? Is it a good cultural fit? And we use AI to do this very effectively. And then obviously we want to avoid job hoppers. Now, if their talent's already been contacted, we want to disqualify them. The workflow stops for that contact. Now, once we find these A+ talents, we want to reach out to them in an automated way so we save time. You can do this via LinkedIn or you can do this via email. Now, the cool thing about email is we can go to their work email or their personal email. It's really up to you. Once that's completed, then we have people that are interested. We can, respond to them, workable, etc. If they're not interested, then they go right back into disqualified and we don't contact them again. And that's kind of an overview of the process. Now let me show you exactly how we do this. So in this space, we want to find people that match the criteria. So in this case, I'm giving an example. Let's say you want to hire someone that is a Python developer. So with our system, we can find the people, let's say for example, have Python anywhere on their profile. Let me show you how we do that. So these are some of the things that we can do. For example, I can say I only want to look for Python developers that work at a company of a certain size. I can say, okay, the job title, I want to have a specific job title. Or I can say, the various levels of the job titles, for example. I can also go by experience. Obviously, this is an important one. How many years of experience as a Python developer? Not necessarily just at the last company. And with the bio, we can say things like they have to have specific keywords in their about section, in their headline, or anywhere on the profile. We can do that as well. And location, maybe you only want United States or maybe specific, cities. It doesn't matter. We can get all that information and filter for that as well. And last but not least, if you want followers, if you want specific job titles, maybe you want people to have a certain number of followers, we can get all that information, education, previous companies, etc. Then once we get that data, then we'll have this list. So we pulled about 25,000 people in this list, and it took about 10 seconds to do with our system. So we get the company they're at now, their first name, their last name, their job title, make sure it matches what we want, the location, the domain, the LinkedIn profile of that specific person. And then I just did some enrichment for the first few rows. And you can see here, I want to make sure they're actually a developer. Sometimes, someone will have Python, but they're not necessarily a developer. They're a tester or whatever, or they're in HR. So this one would be disqualified, for example. So we'll go on through that, and then we also pull the years of experience. So let's say you only want someone that has 5 years experience. We have all that data as well. Again, I just did the first few rows, but there's obviously a lot more to it than that. If we've already contacted them before, then they will go into this disqualification. Now the cool thing about this is once we get their name and their domain and where they work, we can get their email. Now we do something called an email waterfall. In this case, I just use one of the 10 vendors, but we have 10 vendors that we do, and we have a waterfall. So for example, if vendor 1 can't find the email, then we go to vendor 2, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we can pretty much find everybody's email is what I'm trying to say. And also we have a few vendors that will get personal emails. I didn't do that for this case, but we'd also get personal emails if that's what you're interested in. Then we validate the emails, and then we can send it out to say SmartLead, or from your Gmail account using mate.com, we can send an email out from your Gmail. Depends what kind of volume you're looking to do. But obviously SmartLead is really good if you're doing high volume. And then once we have an interested candidate, then we can pull all this data, their professional dossier, basic stuff as well, like, obviously the LinkedIn profile, their experience, their career highlights. But the cool thing about this is we can also get a feel about cultural fit and see if they're actually good for the business. So LinkedIn post analysis, we can see what kind of posts they're doing, if they're doing posts, and then we can gather all that information. And this all happens within seconds, by the way. It's not like it takes a day or an hour or even 10 minutes. It happens within seconds because it's all in an automated thing. So like, for example, communication style and tone, personal values and character. This is all, taken from, what they're posting online. And for more AI automation workflows, check out the next video. Might be a game changer for your business. Thanks so much for watching.